Looking to buy your first car? Or perhaps planning to sell yours in the future? Stay tuned to see the dangers and plights of how car loans can render you bankrupt in just a few short years. Since 2019, when COVID-19 first hit, many people in America have started going into debt in order to buy vehicles. People under the age of 40 are affected the worst, with up to 31% of them having auto loans worth more than $24,000, a whopping 41% increase since 2019. For 18 to 29-year-olds, 31% have unpaid auto loans, and that number is growing. 30 to 39-year-olds follow closely behind, with 29% having unpaid auto loans. This, compared to people over the age of 60, who only 1% of have unpaid auto loans, is shocking. Though it can be expected from the earlier generations to struggle with auto-related debt, the numbers are still too high for the good of the millennials and Gen Z. There has been speculation that auto loans may be the next financial crisis. Owning a car has become necessary to everyday life, causing auto loans to be almost unavoidable, especially for the younger generation. The reason this issue is so serious is because the auto debt does not reflect that of a healthy consumer profile, something that is treacherous to the American economy. In terms of unemployment and other areas of credit loans, the American society has been coping, with unemployment rates decreasing significantly over the years. One has to wonder, what is it causing the auto loan crisis? Partially, this can be blamed on inflation, of which has changed vehicle prices to reach an all-time high. And it's not just cars. Inflation has been the main contributor for the price rising in all consumer goods. Over 20% of Gen Z citizens say that car loans take away over 20% of their after-tax income. For 90 days, this generation had $20 billion in delinquencies for their auto loans. The second contributor is high interest rates, which affect credit debt as well, leaving their income to slowly be eaten away before they have room to spend their money elsewhere. This is dangerous for the economy, as if the consumers are focused entirely on the necessities with no room to spend their money elsewhere. Places like small businesses and the entertainment industry will start to struggle, and that leads to a rise in numbers in unemployment. Generation Z also have to deal with student loans. These are set to continue in the summer of 2023. Payments on student loans have been suspended during the time of COVID-19, however, are now being put back into play. The average interest rate is now 8.95%, recorded in March 2023. This is up 5.66% since last year, in March 2022. For used cars, the interest rate has risen 7.7% since last year, hitting a shocking high of 11.3%. Just an increase in 1% can add up to $20 a month, which can become thousands of dollars over the years. Dealerships are now offering a 90-day deferred payment on new auto purchases, allowing the customer higher cash value for trade-ins. They have also started to lower the retail prices in order to make the vehicles more affordable to people, while the inflation rate rises. The interest rate has been rising due to the Federal Reserve, raising the benchmark for interest rates in the hopes it will fight inflation. The Fed have increased their fund rate from close to 0 to 5%. Buying cars became more expensive in 2022, and that is now being carried into 2023. The average payment per month on auto loans rose from $689 to a new $765 high. The figure had peaked in December, climbing all the way to $789. Nearly 17% of people who paid for a new vehicle are paying anywhere from $1,000 a month, which is up 15% since January. America owed an estimated $1.5 trillion when it came to auto loans in 2022, up $400 billion since 2021, according to Fed information. Cox Automotive states that it is estimated that 14 million cars are going to be sold by automakers in 2023, almost 3 million less than in the years prior to COVID-19. America has an overall consumer debt crisis, not just an auto crisis, leading to the financial instability across the states. Elon Musk has called it potentially the biggest financial crisis ever. The next problem we have to look at is negative equity. In Q4 of 2022, the average negative equity of a vehicle trade-in was worth $5,341, a whole 29% up from the previous year. But what is negative equity? Negative equity is the amount remaining on your car loan versus how much the car is actually worth in that moment. The equity becomes negative when your amount remaining on your car loan is greater than what the car is worth. This usually happens over a series of years. As the value of the car declines, you'll find that you're still paying the auto loan as if it were in the same condition that it was when you first bought it. For example, you could be paying off a loan worth $1,000 when it is actually worth only $800. Obviously, the car will deteriorate over time, causing the issue of negative equity. A lender will not loan you more money than your car is worth, which means that you'll have to pay the difference, as it is required that you pay the loans on the car as if it were in the same condition that you bought it. The only way to pay off negative equity is to make extra payments. On top of that, consumers have to pay for repairs and maintenance, which all pulls into the problem. Another term for this is saying that your loan is underwater. This means that the loan worth exceeds the amount of worth of the actual goods, such as the car. Supply chain issues such as the chip shortage over the past several years have impacted this. Another factor is the dropping of prices with used cars. In the past, prices of cars could be found to increase, suddenly meaning that the used car owner could sell their car for more than what they are able to now. This was unlucky for the buyer by contrast, as they had to spend more. However, since the prices of new cars have been lowering, especially towards the end of 2022, for many people with auto loans, this meant that they were spending more than the car was actually worth. On top of that, auto loan credit availability is decreasing, causing credit on auto loans to become harder to come by. This may be in response to negative equity or the rate of delinquencies on unpaid loans. Used car prices continue to drop over time, and with the Federal Reserve announcing more rate increases this year, the consumers' auto loan rates will increase as well. This means that the situation will likely worsen before improving, though an improvement is not promised. Cars, unlike houses, are not long-term appreciating assets, meaning they'll not gain value over time. They're wasting assets such as food and plastic. When you eventually sell it, it will have decreased significantly in worth from the time you first bought it. Unfortunately, you'll not get your money back for all the maintenance and money spent on fuel. To say the least, cars are not an investment beyond having transport for everyday life. What can this hold for other countries across the globe? In the UK, there is an estimated €75 billion in auto loans, where 6.5 million cars have been bought through the use of monthly payments. In Canada, the delinquencies for auto loans have risen to 2% from the third quarter of 2022. Though Elon Musk has warned us, is there anything being done for the situation? The White House seems focused on making sure car emissions are decreased, though that's another crisis entirely. Is anything being taken into consideration that now emissions are going to go down regardless if Americans are unable to buy cars in the modern day? This will take yet another hit to the economy, as the workforce will continue to struggle with means of transport in order to actually arrive at their place of work. From this information, is it possible that using companies such as Uber is more affordable than buying a used car? Is that the future of the automotive industry as prices continue to climb? The world is being affected from the Americas to the whole of Europe. Is this the biggest financial crisis to reach us yet? Subscribe and stay tuned for more information.